I'm Tony Williams, and this is Brooklyn Savvy. Hi, I'm Tony Williams, and this is Brooklyn Savvy. Have you ever felt just a little too busy to cook? Well, a lot of us have, right, ladies?
Yes.
Okay, we're here now with Heather Johnston. She's a chef, but before we talk to Heather, I want to introduce our Savvy panel. We have Ellen Salpeter, Karen Oster, Aletha Maybank. Now, you're Assistant Commissioner for the New York City Department of Health.
You got that.
And you're overseeing Brooklyn.
I am.
Brooklyn is in the house.
Brooklyn.
And Lisa Bing. So anyway, I'm going to turn our program over to Heather because Heather's going to help us cook.
Okay. I am a chef, but I didn't want to ruin my enjoyment of restaurants by working in one. So I have really dedicated my professional life to the home cook. To give people skills to get in and out of the kitchen. Now, I have lots of philosophies.
See, that's why we picked her. We want skills to get in and out.
I think, my point isn't to get you out of the kitchen as fast as possible. This is not beat the clock. Food is worthy of our attention.
Oh,
Absolutely.
But we don't value it. So we outsource it, right? And that's okay if you're outsourcing it to somebody who cares about your health.
There you go.
But you're not. So I say take back that control with some few basic skills. I'm not talking about cooking every day because that's crazy. So let's no, because it has to be sustainable. But you want to keep it in like rotation.
Right. And we want to make it easy.
We want to make it easy. No. This is
and nutritious with what to buy.
It starts with what to buy. So grocery stores, here's my thing. You should have a philosophy, if not a plan. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have a list.
Philosophy's good. I can
like some people are lists and you have everything down.
I can't do that.
But I'm kind of like what's looking good today kind of
right. A little bit looser on that.
But I know there are certain things that I'm just not buying.
Okay. Like what are you not buying?
Well, let's start with meat. I have an opinion about what kind of meat I have. I don't say get organic because it's extremely expensive.
That's about it now.
But I do say for your meat, try to avoid things processed with antibiotics.
That's like all of it if it's
right. It's not all of it.
It's not all.
People are being more responsive and
I can trust what's on the packages then if the package says that no antibiotics.
Let me tell you something funny about the package. I was buying chicken piccata. We're going to make that later. And I was buying chicken. And I'm looking at my choices in a Key Food right here, a big grocery store. And there was the very expensive organic thing that I was like,
Sticker shock.
not rolling. And then I said, let me see what, can I say national brand?
Yes, of course you can.
Purdue is doing these
Maybe they
things.
get sponsors.
Okay. And so I looked at the package from Purdue and it said no hormones added, which sounds great. And then there was an asterisk and it says federal regulation prevents the addition of hormones to poultry.
The addition.
So they don't have hormones. They never had hormones.
Right.
But they have antibiotics.
See, so they're,
so it's really tricky marketing.
Right. So is the key then, and I know we have a doctor in the house.
Yes.
Maybe I can, will help us with it. So if it doesn't specifically say it's not in there, should we assume that it is?
This is the problem. You need to know that chicken never has hormones. They're trying to confuse.
What do you say?
It has if something has no antibiotics, it will say it.
Okay,
and there are brands that are not organic, that don't have antibiotics, that say it, that are much more affordable.
So and it's very important, I think, like you said, to make sure you read the label in detail, and not to.
You got to do it.
Yeah, you have to flip the can. You got to flip it over, back, front, however you want to do it, because as you mentioned, things are marketed in very different ways, and they're either marketed that they're attractive. Sometimes they can be confusing. It's really up to us to look at the label.
Dr. Maybank and Heather, should we be buying, if we can, at a butcher?
That's what my husband says.
Yes.
The great thing about that is that you can say,
how is it made? Yeah, you can ask the butcher how is it prepared and where is it from.
Where are the butchers?
Oh, they're butchers on, and you know what?
I have a
Crown
butcher on the
Heights.
corner.
There are a lot of them in Crown Heights on Utica
Are there
Avenue.
butchers in Fort Greene?
You know what? I don't see that.
I used to
Cobble Hill has, Bourne Hill has.
I know growing up, my mother used to go to the
And here's the thing, there are
Right.
specialty stores
Right.
opening up sort of along the lines of Whole Foods that
So
are
if you
Whole
had
Foods.
to allocate a budget,
Yep.
and you said, where am I gonna spend, where's, it's kind of like, I can do well on these items
Right.
and buy cheap, and where should I put my money if I have to
Right,
allocate
good question.
resources?
I think that's an
Where
excellent
do you
question.
allocate
That's an
resources?
excellent question. Me personally, I keep the meat as clean as possible.
Right.
Okay.
But milk,
And I-
milk products as well, right? I've heard
Milk
that
too.
all those milk
Dairy.
products,
And you
really
can
dairy.
get cheap milk
Organic.
without antibiotics or hormones added.
So
It's not
grass-fed,
like,
right.
it doesn't
It
have,
was-
grass fed is great, that's much harder to find.
But it's
and you can
organic,
find-
right? Is that what we're?
See, here's the problem with
Right,
organic.
okay.
Organic,
That's what I'm-
to be able to
Yes,
use the
see,
word
right.
organic on your products, you have to meet all these standards, and
Right.
they're very expensive. So
Right.
a producer may be really good, but they just do not have the wherewithal
Right.
to go through all the organic things. So
Right.
that's why I mean, it would be lovely if everything were always organic all the time. But in the midst of a recession, I just can't go around saying, you have to buy
But
organic.
time
Right,
is also the issue here. Like, when you're talking about reading the packages, and,
I know.
for me, going to the butcher is like,
Right.
But Karen, it's like an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Before you buy, I think Dr.
Lots
Maybeck,
of-
you said if
Yeah.
I were looking for
If you were
new
looking for a TV,
electronic,
I mean,
I
we
would
take
be
the
doing my
time to look at
consumer
things.
research.
But now you do some interesting things though.
Well, in terms of buying food.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like, whoa, listen to this,
I'm a
Karen.
busy
Ooh.
single mom. I've got 2 kids. I work. And I do my research. I buy a lot of staples online, but I'm busy. I don't have time. And then I buy my vegetables either at the farmer's market or at some vegetable stands. And I buy my meat, if I can, at the farmer's market or a butcher. And then but I find shopping online. I know, Tony, you don't like Fresh Direct, but
No, I do like Fresh Direct. You meaning you? Look, I like what you've told me about
Well,
Fresh
and the
Direct.
thing is,
Yeah,
in
right.
soap.com
I just don't
for
use
other
it.
paper staples.
Right, yeah.
I find that I can shop online after I put my kids to bed in 10 minutes for my previous list. So for me, that's
Is it cheaper? Is it cheaper? See, that's my
Is it cheaper
deal.
than going to Costco? I
Right.
don't know.
See, that's what
For
the issue
me, I
is.
value my time.
Right,
And
right.
so my time, for me, I don't have to get in the car. I don't have to go to Costco.
I have to balance both. I balance, my time is critically important, but
Right.
I'm kind of in a rut around
but
how
can
I
you balance
shop.
the guilt? Because
There you-
here's the
right.
other issue: is Fresh Direct, it's great for toilet paper, paper towels.
Yeah,
But I
right.
have to go. I like to
I like to
search.
see
You
it.
like to touch it.
I like to see it. I like to see it.
I have an organic
I like to
issue
see
too. I
it.
was talking about that before. The 2 books greatly influenced my shopping. Barbara Kingsolver, is that her name?
Yeah.
Just the awareness about where your vegetables come from and what season they're at. So I'm a big farmer's
with
market.
you. I shop
Yeah,
Right, right.
I also belong to a co-op. So organic farmers come down to the
So
city.
she's as serious as you are.
So you're great.
Serious. Right.
I don't work a co-op. Hold on, please, I'm out. I don't work a co-op. I pay.
No,
I'm not working.
Right.
CSA, can you speak to that?
Yeah.
Dr.
Well,
Maybeck?
yeah.
Well, and
Fresh
it,
food choices?
right, so
Yeah.
farmers markets, CSAs, co-ops, I mean, what the great thing, and everybody's talking about what they like and how they like to shop. I think the great thing is that there are a lot of options out there, right?
Yes, that's
that
true.
you can suit
Right.
you and tailor to what your needs are. Fortunately, unfortunately, in some communities, there really are
Right.
not those
You're right.
opportunities. But as I said, there are some. There are more and more farmers markets, which are great. CSAs are popping up all over the place. Co-ops are popping up all over the place in Brooklyn. There's another one coming in Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, which we're very excited about. So there are more and more options, and I think it's really getting the awareness that these places are there.
That's what I was going
Because
to-
many
yeah,
people are not
exactly.
aware that they're there, and there are even like
They're
incentive
So how do they-
programs.
It's intimidating.
All right, we're all talking at once. Make it clear.
But even Costco, I know you say you don't like Costco. I love Costco.
I love
I
Costco.
know Costco gives some people the highs.
I'm with it.
love
I'm with you on the Costco.
And I buy a lot of my fresh fruit from there because.
But you have to
it
eat it quick.
No, no.
At least I do, or a rat.
I eat a lot of
I've
fruit.
wasted a lot of
I eat
pears.
lot of fruit. Well, you have to, but you buy what you
Yeah.
you know your habits and that. But it's very fresh. There's high turnover.
And as a single person cooking for one, you find Costco's okay? I'm
I do.
overwhelmed by
I
the
do.
thought.
So you know what? We're gonna have to get cooking.
We gotta get
Okay.
Trying to get home.
Right. So we're gonna start with garlic. And okay.
So you know what though? What we should do is just take a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Keeping It Brooklyn, where we highlight Brooklynites who are doing something really savvy. So you thought only a tree grows in Brooklyn. What about a farm? Well, that's what savvy Brooklynites Gina Argento and her brother Tony have done on the rooftop of one of their Brooklyn warehouses. The brother and sister duo run an ever-expanding film and TV production studio called Broadway Stages, home to such shows as Blue Bloods, the new CBS Tom Selleck series, CBS's The Good Wife, USA's Royal Pains, and FX's Rescue Me. The stages were proud to host, among many blockbusters, the hit film It's Complicated. The Argentos have always been environmental stewards. Broadway Stages has created Brooklyn's first organic rooftop farm where plump tomatoes, fresh green beans, and other produce is grown and sold to local restaurants and markets. They're supporting the environment and community. Now, how savvy is that? Keeping It Brooklyn is sponsored by Broadway Stages.
We're back with Dr. Aletha Maybank and Heather Johnston. Now, let's get going. We got to get cooking.
Gotta get cooking.
You know, we're hungry.
First meal I'm going to do is a total pantry thing. Everything you have on hand.
So what would that be, though? Just, thank you. Okay.
Oil. Hopefully in your pantry you have some oil.
Yes, I do. I've got plenty of oil.
Two kinds I use. Extra virgin olive and canola. This is olive oil. I don't measure. So let's say that's a cook.
That's a cook. That's good. That's a cook.
And then I'm going to put garlic in. Now,
That looked like a quarter of a cup.
everybody uses, has garlic. Fresh garlic, that is. I like fresh garlic. I use it. You can use the stuff in the jar if you want to. If it's got,
There's
that's your entry point. I want to meet people where they are. If that is
Thank you. No judgment. No judgment.
you can use that.
No judgment.
Okay, no judgment.
Right.
What about garlic powder?
Garlic powder is good, but not for this. It's not a replacement for this. It's very different.
Mixed with salt, so you have to be
It's
very
sodium
careful
again.
about
There's a
it.
sodium factor. Right.
Now, I am. This is a simple dish. It doesn't have a lot of things in
And the
it.
name of it was? How is
Pasta
it?
fagioli. It's
Okay,
pasta and beans. It's
right.
a classic Italian dish. A lot of people use meat with it. I do not. I keep it really simple, really clean. I like the flavors
Well,
that
this
way.
sounds good so
So,
far.
okay, I have my garlic going. I'm going to add a can of tomato sauce. Now, this does have sodium in it.
But that works as a can of tomato sauce.
14% for
Not
your
from
day,
scratch.
which
Okay,
is a
that's
little high. You can get this thing,
But
but
you
right.
use the same things that say low sodium.
Keep that in
on
mind when you're
Right.
seasoning later that there's salt already. So I'm just going to put that right in.
Okay.
And then
No, not yet, no, right,
a
exactly.
can of water. Water is an underused ingredient in cooking, and not everything has to be.
Tony, you're gonna put these recipes up on our site?
Yeah.
Yes, I will. But I think, yes, they're on
TV.
SoGood.tv for all you viewers. Beautiful website. Check it out. But it'll be on Brooklyn Savvy
Too
TV.
bad we don't
too.
have aroma. That's
And you see how simple it is? Garlic, oil, and tomato sauce.
Okay.
Super simple. And then I'm going to add another staple item, which I strongly suggest people have.
I have that, but
Is beans.
yes. Well, no, you're right.
A can of
Yes,
beans.
that's true. Yes.
Even in under-resourced neighborhoods.
Again,
Yeah, Goy is there.
but be aware, there is a sodium content for this. It's
what I
fairly low. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. You can get no sodium. You can rinse the beans. You can do whatever. But keep that in mind at the end that you may not really have to add a lot
Any
of
salt,
seasoning.
because it's already in
if
there.
It's already there.
Embedded.
So, and you just pop the top off. I mean,
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful.
And even if they are in the bodegas, when you mentioned that, the beans, you can actually ask the store owners. We've worked with several bodegas.
you
to
didn't rinse
So you don't drink it. I was going to say the
I
same thing. You just put
I
the
didn't
whole,
rinse them.
you
I
didn't
put
put
the
you
whole
put
thing
the
in.
liquid in there. Because usually I always take the juice out,
I
right?
do not always.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
I know. See, this is right. Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Thank
really
you.
okay.
Right.
You
And
know,
so
I know
now-
you said that time, it takes time to, it takes some time to cook, but this doesn't seem like
This
it's
does
taking
not.
that
This is a snap,
This is
and
great.
it's canned things on hand.
But we have
Right.
to chop, that takes time.
You don't have to chop if you
Food
want to.
processor, because if you bought the I'm a food processing queen. That's the one thing I do really well. Right.
I have a mini cup, I use it a lot.
Processing
But you know,
queen.
here's the thing. It's not. You want to have it be worth your time, right? So it has to have a certain flavor that is enjoyable. So
Absolutely.
these are the kinds of things.
I do,
Right.
I cook, and I cook for myself as a single girl. I cook, and I cook, but there are certain things that I do.
We believe you.
Yeah. And the chopping, something you said
Yeah.
earlier about, how you look at cooking, I do find it as a creative outlet, and sometimes it's meditative.
Absolutely.
But
You
you
get into a
know,
meditative
and what
flow, no
about
question.
those folks though who don't get any of that out of it? For me, it's like right. But for
I don't
me,
like to exercise,
yes,
but you know
you
what?
gotta do
I
it.
gotta do
But
it.
it's more mature, and for people that it's more mature for, it's kind of interesting to know that you can go into your cabinet and find some stuff.
Your 5 meals.
Oh, exactly.
That you can do eyes closed.
Right.
Those are the things that are
Right.
gonna be your go-to.
Kids get bored after 20 years, but keep going.
All right, so now you're gonna let this go for. You're gonna let it go for about. That's it. About 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be
Yeah,
that
so
long.
let's-
Whatever you
right.
got. and I'm going to add the pasta, which I cooked already. I just want to like remind people, like if they really know they're going to make pasta when they walk in the door, get that pot. That's the first thing you do.
It's 7 minutes,
Hot
7 to
on
9
the
minutes. I know.
stove.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think about what I'm making,
That's a
but I know it's
Costco item.
pasta.
Yeah.
Pot on the
That's
stove.
a Costco item.
Although I find storing, I don't buy my pastas from Costco. That's too much.
Storage.
I do though.
So this is
because
ditalini.
family, right? So,
Ladies,
right.
It's
Yeah, that's
ditalini,
displayed,
and I'm just going
right.
to add a half of a box. I have a little more here.
You
Right.
can also get pasta
And that
whole
was-
wheat too.
Yeah, actually, whole wheat would
And
be
this
a
is
great
black eyed
option.
peas too. This is black eyed peas.
Parents,
Right.
I buy the protein pasta because I want him to get extra protein. And it's
Right.
really great, and he'll eat it.
And
He
I
doesn't
find
eat whole wheat pasta. He like turns his nose up. But
Yeah,
the protein
I
pasta.
find it hard to eat.
So do we get a chance to test?
We're going to test. And I also want to say,
'Cause I'd like to see,
you have to always think about
It's
your
pretty.
vegetables
It's
when you're
different,
cooking.
right?
Even if
Right.
like, if you could have a double veg, like I always think, how can I have a double
The tomato
dose of
sauce didn't
vegetables?
count then. of
Tomato
course.
sauce is
Yeah,
great.
so
Don't
vegetarian,
underestimate
right,
the tomato sauce was really good for you.
Right.
What you could do is I could just stir in some fresh spinach in this.
I do that a lot. I do a lot of adding of spinach.
Something, but I always have a vegetable with it, and I have an easy thing to do is roast vegetables. These have been roasting a long time.
They look good though.
So I have turnips because I like them. And they're
Yeah,
seasoned.
I love.
But and you do have to cut them, but baby carrots you do not have to cut. You just throw them in, salt and pepper,
Talk about
pop
baby
them in.
carrots, though.
Yeah.
I don't even think they look like carrots. I have to say
They're
this.
peeled and cut.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah,
why I
and
want
it's
for
easy
baby
to get
carrots.
those.
Which end of
The baby carrots are wonderful.
So that is
Okay, so
now the other thing I like to add to this. And this is where you can get a little creative. You put a little hot pepper in it if you like little pepper.
Yes,
flakes.
yes, yeah.
You can put a little Parmesan cheese, which you can dry grated.
Absolutely. All good
And,
stuff. This is good.
I
This is good,
always
viewers.
like
This
to
is
add an
good.
herb or two. I like, this is my favorite kind. It's Italian parsley. It adds a nice freshness. You could do dried. Some dried herbs are great. Thyme is good, or oregano. Basil not so good dried. Parsley doesn't really have much flavor. So, you just take a couple of leaves and sprinkle it on your plate. It really pops up the dish.
All
Put
right.
some in a
So-
bowl,
All righty.
Okay.
and I'm going to garnish it up for you.
That was quick and easy.
Yeah, that.
That's really easy.
You know, but it looks like a soup dish almost.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people like it as
It's a
that.
soup
You
dish.
can make it as whatever you want. You can put whatever you want in it. Carrots.
How could you go wrong with garlic and tomatoes, though, right? Right?
Yeah, but so
Yeah.
it seems that cooking is not such a precise, and it doesn't have to be so rigid.
Baking is precise.
Yeah,
Cooking
okay.
is
You
not.
want to try it? Do we try it?
Of course,
Yeah.
let's go.
Well, Karen and I will be the official
Okay, you let us
testers.
know how it is.
All right.
I would taste it.
Well, wait a second. I don't know, people. Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot and it's enough for the next day. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Oh, really
It's,
good.
it's hearty. It's very
Hardy,
hearty.
it's warming.
Well,
It's
it's
vegetarian.
Really good.
It's good. It's very good. And you can have quick. Something like, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
So now our next thing.
That is great.
Yeah, please.
I like the parsley.
We have.
See, the parsley does add a really nice.
Parsley knows
really
really
good.
Okay.
The parsley adds a nice,
was
clean
really good.
flavor. I have to say,
No, I love
like
that.
nobody likes to chop.
I know red pepper,
but the
really.
roast-
It just
Great
added a
flavor.
little, like a little.
It does.
I
It's the
just learned-
simplest little thing.
There you go.
Cute, really good things.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right. So moving on. And also,
moving
it's
on
really
to our
good with
viewers. Let's remember we have viewers, people.
You can even like put the turnips
I
like
probably wouldn't
on the
try it.
dish. Like you could just like throw the vegetables on there.
It's
All right.
good.
Are these turquoise? These are turnips?
Turnips.
Oh, you know what? I don't even eat
Can I try
turnips.
one? I
I've
love
never had a turnip.
You have to try it.
I mean,
Oh my God,
That is
turnips are
great.
amazing. You know, turnips with Brussels sprouts.
You want to try
you know, and that's shame, but I do eat, and I do, I don't mean to misrepresent
really good.
myself.
That is really
But these turnips are pretty good.
I
They taste
love-
like potatoes. This way.
Well, they're
Alrighty, we've got something big coming now.
They're delicious roasted.
That was good.
That was really
Now
good.
moving on.
These turnips are really
And this
good.
is all healthy.
So when you roasted this, did you put some oil?
Two
and-
things. Salt, pepper, and olive oil. You can rule the world with salt, pepper.
Isn't that the
and
truth?
olive oil.
And do you
I mean-
use sea salt or not?
I don't.
Yeah.
I keep it as simple as possible, and I like to shop in big grocery stores because me as a professional, I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. But I will say, the
That's a great
more
point.
Yeah.
Great
you
point.
start asking for grass-fed or organic, you go to Costco. They have a beef. I think it's Kirkland.
Yeah.
That is grass-fed.
Yes.
You can get it. So.
Right. Well, I see that in my neighborhood, which
Yeah.
is transitioning, you know, Crown Heights, Prospect Heights. We see that a store that used to have no fresh dairy because it wasn't really in demand is now stocking
Right.
everybody over
right.
Greek yogurt.
Right.
Yeah, but the demand drives it.
Right, and the stores see demand by what you
profit.
buy
Right.
also, but
Right.
again, you'd still have the opportunity to ask people to put certain things in the
That's true.
store.
And
And that's where we have to be more proactive.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
and I think there are certain communities where we're, you know, or people that just aren't proactive when it comes to asking.
to take
Because you don't have that, you feel
Right,
a little
and some
sense of an entitlement, but you are entitled to
You
good
are
food in your
entitled to
neighborhood.
food, and you should.
Right, and you should be entitled around
And
that.
business owners really do want to hear from
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
you should be surprised by the sources
Yeah.
because now Walmart is going to be one of the biggest providers of local food. They, I mean, people don't always like this idea, but they heard this was a local
We don't have
movement.
Walmart near.
But other,
No,
that's
because of
what
their
I'm saying,
hiring
like,
practices.
Walmart
But,
presents some other issues.
you know, but we probably, we won't go there right now. We won't go there right now because
Say
we
something
went.
about Costco and
Uh-oh.
buying the meats and things,
Yeah.
because as a single person, you know, I'm sure we have other single viewers, you can chop it up and put it in the freezer.
We'll do that even,
I-
even not, you know, you have to because who's gonna be able to
That's right,
eat
right.
a
You
whole.
can only defrost it
Pack.
once.
Right,
You wanna
right.
make sure you're only taking out the freezer what you-
I guess I cheat on that. I cheat on that so much, and I'm still alive, and I'm still alive to tell you. I do that, and I have not gotten sick yet, and I'm, you know.
Lucky.
No, I think I'm just good. I just think that it's, you know, I just have a feel for it. I
It's not
have
a
a nose
habit.
for it.
It's not a habit.
But I think also
Yeah, nose. You gotta use your nose.
that we haven't talked about, and I know that Heather's.
We're gonna let
cooking
Heather
for-
cook so we can,
For
right.
everyone, you know, that everyone has these things in their kitchen, but I have to say, I live in New York, and one of the reasons I live in Brooklyn is you can get so many different kinds
Yeah,
of food.
ethnic foods.
Ethnic foods, and things I've
Everything.
never tried or I didn't grow up eating, and I think that that's extraordinary, and if you're a little adventuresome, and with the internet, you can look up online how to make almost anything.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing to live, I mean, I live in a neighborhood that has a live poultry.
And you can still
Absolutely.
make the food that, I think there's also the perception that healthy food is, that doesn't taste good, it doesn't have flavor, but you can still use your own cultural food and just adjust them,
Right.
twist them, you know, and take out whatever it is. But
So what are we
always make it
making
healthy.
now?
So
So
we're
what are we,
moving on
we're gonna make it now?
to chicken
Sorry.
piccata, which is another, I mean, I do this in my sleep. It's an easy go-to.
Need that.
Start with chicken, I already said, antibiotic-free,
Right.
not organic.
Right.
You can get it sliced thin already,
Right.
so that's another step you don't have to worry about. It's a very simple process.
And when it's sliced thin, you don't have to pound it, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly, the whole pounding thing. So I take a little, I take a little olive oil, I'm gonna let my pan get hot,
It's like therapy.
Yeah.
and I have here some flour. I don't know if anybody can see anything.
One conversation, we gotta hear, yeah, that's all right, guys,
And it's
yeah.
very simple, you're just gonna
Right.
dredge your chicken
Okay, so that's some flour and
in
salt.
flour.
And do you dip it in egg or anything
I don't.
beforehand? No.
I mean, you can, these are all options,
Okay.
but not
She's
not for
keeping it
me.
simple and fast.
Yeah.
Oh, we, right.
So then I'm just gonna put the chicken in. And this is basically it. I like
Now,
to
what comes
season-
after? Because it looks like we may be running out of time.
Okay.
So what will happen
So I'm
after
gonna
you?
brown off this chicken.
Right.
Then I'm gonna put some already sliced mushrooms in.
Okay, that's
Brown
right.
those off. And then I'm gonna add some lemon, some wine. You could use chicken stock if you don't drink.
Wine always picks
But
up
it cooks
the flavor
off, but it
food.
really takes
Yeah.
it up.
Right.
Add some capers, we're done.
Capers, wow.
Because you gotta that's a pantry item.
not easy.
And when
I
I
have
tell you how you are so sophisticated when
I
you're
have a
working
big
with
jar of capers that I haven't opened in like 4 years, okay? It's been there a while.
too.
I got a Costco jar of capers.
I would serve this with potatoes and string beans, but it works really nicely with couscous, which is another really simple whole grain couscous you can do.
Okay, I can see that.
It's a real, and then you can really pop it up if you want to do something special.
Right.
You can add butter. I don't use butter for this. It doesn't need it.
Right.
But if you like fancy, little butter, little chopped olives, little parsley, you're like fancy.
In terms of healthy, do we use butter or oils? Or?
Everything's in small. Everything's in moderation, let's put it that way. Unfortunately, in New York City, well, across the country now, and thanks to New York City, really, trans fats and as far as what we use to preserve our products, it really doesn't exist as much, and restaurants aren't using it. So that's one type of fat that's eliminated. We do, you know, olive oils definitely are better and definitely are very good and healthy. But again, if you're going to use the other products, just use them in moderation, very small amounts, you know,
You know,
because
I
it's
would never
fat
give
still.
up butter.
Yeah,
Right.
me either.
Oh, no.
And a little bit of butter goes a long way for flavor.
And you don't need that much
And you
though,
don't
right?
need that much
I'm
though.
starting to cook everything with olive oil.
Yeah.
And even my scrambled eggs.
Right.
Even scrambled eggs
Things
is
that are
really good.
saturated fat and
Right.
You know what
definitely
I
key.
also find, and it's a question for you too, is that for me, butter is where I'll spend the money. Like, I think that if you buy amazing, and for me, I like French style butter.
Right.
And if I can't afford
Yeah.
French butter, I'll buy French style butter. But I like that really creamy. If I'm gonna use it, I
Right.
want to go all the way.
And that's
You know.
good, because you probably use it in moderation, but
I
the,
do.
the,
I
the
don't
issue is that a lot of
splash
people,
butter on
I know a lot of people do. Right, so, moderation, we're good.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, everybody, that's all. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, ladies. I think we had a real fun time.
I get to eat this?
Yeah, that's yours. That's yours. That's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next time on Brooklyn Savvy.